爆弾置いといたぞ。
爆弾ありますね。2つもありますね。
あとなんとなくだけ生肉置いとくわ。なんとなくね。なんで隠れてんの、爆弾のところに。なんでみんな肉置くの。うわ今ので肉焼けたかもわからんぞ。
こんがり肉ができたはずですね。
Hi guys, this is Tabiasobi, and today is all about my number one nemesis in the Monster Hunter series, Rajang. Or Rajang in good old Japanese. Yes, we all have our share of monsters that give us trouble in Monster Hunter. As far as regular monsters go, some of the more troublesome ones I hear mentioned often include Deviljho, Plesioth, Yangaruga, Black Diablos, and even Kezu, to name a few. Personally, for myself, however, one monster has consistently given me the most trouble throughout the series. That would be the Kirin Slayer itself, Rajang. Yeah, I still remember the first time I fought Rajang. I could just feel the confidence slowly welling up inside me as I laid the smackdown on the monster with no problems at first. I was like Frieza arriving at Namek for the first time. Then Rajang turned gold. All of a sudden, I was like Frieza facing Super Saiyan Son Goku. I'm like, what the heck is even going on here? I mean, remember how people complained about some of Arc-Tempered Nergigante's moves coming out way too fast to react to? That right there is pretty much angry Rajang in a nutshell. In fact, to this day, I could still feel the beating I received from that first encounter in my joints during cold mornings. I used to be an elite hunter. Then I took a Rajang to the knee. It left such a mark on me that my first reaction when seeing Rajang is to look away for a split second. That being said, Rajang is also one of my favorite monsters in the series. I can get my butt handed to me by Rajang, twice on Sundays, and usually not feel salty at all. That's because the monster pretty much fights you straight up without relying on cheap tricks like miasma or fire pools on the ground. You know who you are. It also doesn't hop around like its Ritalin popping cousin, the crack monkey Bangonga. Nope, Rajang just flexes his muscles, gives you an old-fashioned butt whooping, and then calls it a day. On that note, I decided to prep for Rajang's impending release by watching the developer hunt from the Tokyo Game Show and breaking down its moves. Just like my Kulvtaroth and Arc-Tempered Nergigante breakdowns, I thought some people might find it useful if I shared this info as well. One thing I noticed is that, like Iceborne's version of Yangaruga, Rajang feels like it received a speed boost. Yeah, that's just great! Anyway, let's start with the moves I've observed for his normal form. I could just hear him going, "This isn't even my final form." Number 1, the back hop. So this move seems pretty harmless, but it's really an excellent tool for Rajang to reposition itself out of nowhere and hit you with something deadlier, especially if it hits you and flinches you or staggers you for a split second or two. It's especially an issue when Rajang powers up later on. Anyway, when standing or attacking Rajang from the back, just make sure to stand a bit to the side instead of directly behind his butt. Or buttocks. Up next, the belly flop. So Rajang raises its arms in the air, then does a body press toward the ground. It's got a pretty obvious tell, and the Rajang will also face in the direction where it's going to hit, so just dodge away from it unless you're using a weapon that can counter. Then we have the monkey jab. Rajang does a quick punch with one of its arms when doing this move. The move itself isn't that damaging, but Rajang usually does it to set up another one as part of its combos. The next move could range anywhere from a spin attack to his electric Kamehameha. Apparently, Rajang has been taking boxing lessons about the proper use of the jab. After that, we've got the Spinaroonie. Once again, Rajang rears up, but instead of fully raising its arms, it quickly flexes it sideways with its elbows tucked in. It then lets it rip by charging forward while spinning its entire body like a Beyblade. After that, Rajang yells, "If you think the fight is over, you're wrong!" At least that's what it says in my headcanon. Yep, I'm a weird guy. Anyway, just try dodging this toward the side. Up next, we have the 180-1-2 swipe. Rajang swipes the ground with one hand, then does a 180-degree turning swipe with the other hand. This move basically targets foes around him, so watch out for it when attacking the monster from the side. Then we have the move I like to call the ora ora ora. That sounds familiar. Yeah, so Rajang raises his fist, then does consecutive forward punches. Rajang typically does 3 to 5, and can cancel it mid-combo as well. You definitely don't want to lance counter this early in the move, since it hits multiple times. After that, we have the airball. Why, hello there, Blanca. Got any spare Blancachon dolls? When performing this move, Rajang jumps way up high in the air, then taps into its inner monkey ball fan and spins toward the target. If you happen to lose track of Rajang, just look at its shadow on the ground. Then we've got the thunder, but not from down under. Rajang jumps up again, but not quite as high as the Blanca roll, and then spits a ball of lightning towards its opponent. Why does it spit a ball of lightning towards its opponent? Because it can, that's why. Apparently, Rajang is a Pokemon that has mastered Electro Ball. Yeah, that sounds about right. Then we've got the Kamehameha. This is Rajang's signature move, and the monster quickly stands up while flexing its arms, and then spits out a beam of lightning. This can come out fast and hits hard, so be on the lookout for it, especially if you're standing in front of him. Well, that or if it does a backflip or a jab. On the plus side, it nails him to the ground for a bit, so it also provides you an opportunity to attack Rajang while the beam's coming out of its mouth. It's also a great opening for using the Clutch Claw since the monster will pause for a bit after it does the attack. After that, we've got the Horny Hug. No, not that kind of horny. Actually, I got that term from my cousin, who once put 2 party hats on his head when he was like 7, grabbed a nearby relative and yelled, "Horny Hug!" Good times! Anyway, Rajang leaps forward, a Sabretooth from the X-Men, and then if that hits, it'll proceed to double back and grab the poor hunter. It'll then cradle the poor victim like a defenseless baby, whisper sweet nothings, and then unceremoniously throw said hunter to the ground. It then flexes its chiseled physique, and then does a super pound on the down hunter for massive, giant enemy crab damage. Rajang can also do the grab, by the way, by reaching out at a hunter that's clutching its body, so watch out for that when using the Clutch Claw on him. If you're downed, you can cancel the super pound by hitting Rajang with slinger ammo on the face or a flash pod. Otherwise, if you're a hunter and you see one of your companions get grabbed, you can use a flash pod as well. Up next are Rajang's moves when it goes SSJ1, or Super Saiyan level 1. Most of them are the same as its regular moves, except now they're faster and have a bit more oomph to them. One move I noticed is a running horn tackle, which I don't remember seeing in its normal form, but I could very well be wrong. Anyway, here's a showcase of its moves when it is supercharged. Note that you can still use a shock trap in this form. I don't remember seeing the devs use a pitfall trap though. And I mentioned that because if I remember correctly, Rajang used to be able to escape pitfall traps in its normal form, but then become susceptible to them when enraged in past games. And then shock traps kind of work the opposite way. Then we have Rajang's SSJ2 mode. Yeah, if you think he was mad before, wait till you get a load of this one. In this angrier, even more powered up Rage mode, Rajang stands up while golden, and then taps into his inner Burning Gundam, or God Gundam, as its fists turn red. By the way, in this form, the monster becomes immune to shock traps, and will actually flex and then destroy them if he steps on one of them. It actually looks pretty cool. His fists and head also end up hardening, so you'll want to focus on attacking its tail instead. As mentioned previously though, just make sure to watch out for that back hop when you're attacking its behind. As far as additional moves go, here are some that I noticed. Up first is the ground pound. So Rajang punches the ground twice, and then winds up for a more powerful third punch to the ground. Owie. Just make sure that you're not standing around its immediate vicinity, like some clueless guy looking at a car crash on the freeway. Just keep your distance and keep moving. After that, we have the Super Elbow Drop. With this move, Rajang recalls the time it debuted in WrestleMania with Randy Macho Man Savage, and then stands on its hind legs, flexes its chest muscles, then jumps up in the sky like a beautiful soaring birdie. It then crashes down to the ground while doing an AoE elbow drop with splash damage. Oh yeah! To quote Avamax, when you see this happening, run, don't walk away. Now one move I don't remember seeing, by the way, is the old triple ball that Rajang did in the old games. I'm not sure if the monster just decided not to do it in this hunt, or if they're saving it for its tempered version. Anyway, the most dangerous thing about Rajang is its tendency to combo its attacks. Individually, the attacks aren't a big deal and are usually easy to avoid. When it starts to string them one after the other, however, that's when it becomes dangerous because they can just come out of nowhere. It's one of the things I used to hate as a gunner because it can close gaps pretty quickly, and its more dangerous attacks hit so hard, you can go from full health to a kitty cart trip in an instant. On the plus side, Rajang also teaches you to become a better hunter when you get too comfortable with the game and develop careless habits. That's because Rajang is really good at punishing mistakes, so it pretty much forces you to correct those mistakes. Anyway, that's my preview and move breakdown for Rajang. As always, if you have any thoughts or questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section. Once again, this is Tabi Asobi, and thank you for watching.